Right. So let's take a look at the players selected to represent the Super Eagles in the upcoming AFCON qualification doubleheader against Guinea Bissau. Please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. And we start with goalkeepers, of course. Francis Uzoho, the first name on the list. Omonia Nikosa, number 1. Also number 1 for the Super Eagles as of the recent past. Was in goal for the team in the last match against Portugal. The forgettable match against Portugal, and the 4-0. Can't really blame him for any of the goals conceded though. This season, he has been the number 1 for the most part for his club. 16 appearances so far with 8 clean sheets. He recently sat out a few games on the bench, but now he is back in the team, started a couple matches so far. Next, we have a member of the Flying Eagles squad that picked up the 3rd place finish at the recently concluded Under-20 AFCON. Chijoke Aniegboso of Giant Brilla FC. Giant Brilla FC playing the Nigerian National League, and that's the 2nd division of Nigerian football. Chijoke Aniegboso was actually the number 2 goalkeeper in the team coming into the tournament, but after the first match, the coach made the change. He came into the team against Egypt, and like they say, the rest was history. Kept the number 1 spot all the way to the ending of the tournament, and now he has been given a slot in the Super Eagles team. Honestly, I see this as a pat on the back, keep working hard type of selection. I feel he's a really good goalkeeper with great reflexes, but at the same time has a lot of things to work on. Definitely looked shaky at times throughout the tournament, especially the 3rd place match looked very shaky against Tunisia. But that being said, he definitely looks the part. Big, strong, tall goalkeeper. Definitely has the tools to become a big part of the Super Eagles in the future. The last among the goalkeepers is the only NPFL player invited. Victor Soshima of Rivers United actually has been part of the home base Super Eagles before. Now with his club side, he has kind of been sharing playing time with Seydou Mutawakilu, the Ghanaian goalkeeper over there. So maybe he starts one match, then Seydou starts the next 2 or 3, things like that. But lately it seems like he has taken over that number 1 shirt solely, and he has been starting all their matches, especially in the CAF Confederations Cup, which he has been really good in. And I believe his performances lately have been the reason why the coach has selected him to be part of the team. But in my opinion, he's always been a good goalkeeper. You can go back to the Rivers United old matches, the one they played in Tanzania, the one they played in Sudan. You can see his saves. It's not a joke. The guy's a real good goalkeeper, and I definitely feel like this is a deserved selection. Moving on to the defenders, and we start with Kenneth Omoru of Leganes in the La Liga 1-2-3. Really has not played much under Jose Pizarro. I don't think he has actually played under Jose Pizarro, to be honest. Was a big part of the Super Eagles team at the last AFCON. For me personally, I feel like Kenneth Omoru is kind of underrated when it comes to Nigerian football. I feel like his club situation kind of makes people think something else when it comes to what he has done for Nigerian football itself, like the Super Eagles itself. This man won an AFCON, let's not forget that. 2013 picked up the AFCON trophy. Also has a bronze medal, a 3rd place finish in an AFCON. So it's not like you're talking about any other defender. This is a top defender. The last time we saw him in full health, he looked really good for the Super Eagles. So I have no problem with Kenneth Omoru being on the team. My hope is that he is healthy. Up next is Calvin Bassey of Ajax. Has played as a central defender and left back for club and country. Made his Super Eagle debut against Ghana in the World Cup qualifiers, and has gone on to play in most of the Super Eagles matches since then. With his club side, he has made 34 appearances so far this season, scoring 1 goal and creating 5 assists along the way. I mean, I feel like he has been having an up and down season. Actually started the season with a red card on his debut, came back, was looking good for a moment, then things just went left for his club. They bumped out of the Champions League. They're really struggling to win their league, which should be really easy for Ajax, just being honest. And things have really not been shaping like they were expected from the beginning. Lost his spot along the way, but fought, stood strong, and won his position back in the team. And so far so good. We hope things just keep going well as they are right now. You talking about a big, strong, fast, physical young man, can play as a central back and a left back like I said earlier. And you're not just talking about a makeshift, you're talking about a guy that can slot into those positions and really do the job. So he's a real quality player. Lucky to have him for the Super Eagles, and hopefully he shows up and shows out. Next, we have a player who's returning to the team after a long spell of injury. Semi Ajayi of West Brom didn't get hurt with the Super Eagles, got hurt with his club. He's been out since August, required a surgery, and returned in December of last year. And even when he returned, things didn't really get that much easier. He still had to fight for a spot in the team. He's only made 18 appearances so far in the season, although he just played 90 minutes for his team against Cardiff in the championship. So it's looking like the fight is working. Hopefully he gets his spot back in the team. With the Super Eagles, I believe the last time we saw him in action was the AFCON Qualifiers, and that was the match against Sao Tome. Next up, we have Bright Osayi Samuel, and he plays for Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League. Made his debut for the Super Eagles in that match against Portugal. He was definitely one of the best Super Eagles players in that match, if I'm being honest. He definitely looked like one of the only players who came to play. Now with his club, he plays both as a right back and a right midfielder. He has made 29 appearances in all competitions, 16 in the league. No goals, no assists though. And to me, that's kind of strange, because definitely when I used to watch him at QPR, he was scoring the goals, he was putting the assists. So it's kind of strange that he has no goals and assists, even though he's a right back. The skills are still there, so you wonder why that's not happening for him. Up next, you got Daniel Bameyi of Naijabiasfc. Daniel Bameyi, another member of the under-20 AFCON squad, the Flying Eagles team. He was the captain of the team, actually played as a central defender and a right back. Kind of had a controversial type of tournament, had the 2 yellow cards that led to him missing the quarterfinals of the competition, and that was the match against Uganda. But what happened next was that the player that came in to replace him actually picked up the Man of the Match award, had a really good game. So the coach really was in a bad position, could not put Daniel Bameyi back in his regular position. So what he did was actually put him at the right back slot. Augustin Njoku was taken out the team. Daniel Bameyi was put as a right back. He wasn't bad in my opinion as a right back. Had the assist in the final match of the competition. That was the 3rd place match against Tunisia. So he wasn't bad. But at the end of it all, Augustin Njoku was named on the team of the tournament. So that's kind of crazy right there. The coach dropped a player that's on the team of the tournament just to force his captain into the team, which is basically what happened. He forced him into the team. I wouldn't say that cost the team in any ways, but I mean, we all have common sense. We all saw what happened there. But that being said, I personally feel Daniel Bameyi is a good player, a real leader of his team, and I feel like, yes, it's a good experience for him. I don't think he's going to be a starter for the Super Eagles. I believe this is an experience for him. Let him see how things are done at the highest level, and hopefully he takes that experience and takes it to his own team. So that's just what I'm thinking will happen right here. I'm not thinking he's coming in to cement a starting slot on the team. Next, we have Kevin Akpoguma of Hoffenheim. Made his debut for the team under Raw, but really became a regular, or sort of a regular, under Jose Peseiro. Has been playing a little bit more lately. Played against Algeria, started that match. That was a friendly match. Also started the match against Portugal. Of course, he went through his youth football as a German international. Played at the under-20 World Cup against the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfried Ndidi actually was the captain of that German under-20 squad. Now with his club side Hoffenheim, they're kind of fighting a relegation battle. They're 1 point away from the relegation playoff position in Germany. Now with his club, he has had 20 appearances in all competitions this season. Most of his appearances have been as a central defender, although he has also played as a right back and a right midfielder for the team. Next up, we have Zaidu Sanusi of Porto, left back for the Super Eagles. His club recently got knocked out of the UEFA Champions League, and that was against Inter Milan. They did play a good match, but ended up bouncing out. Zaidu Sanusi has made 18 appearances in the league for his team, also 8 appearances in the Champions League. With the Super Eagles, he has that running battle with Calvin Bassey for the left back slot, but I do think he has a little bit of leeway since Calvin Bassey currently plays as a central defender for his club. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see both of these players start for the Super Eagles. Calvin Bassey as a left central defender and Zaidu Sanusi as a left fullback. Next and last but not least, out of the defenders, Bruno Onyemaechi of Boa Vista in Portugal got his first Super Eagles call up in the last international break, and that was the match against Portugal. With his club side, he has multiple positions. He's played as a left back, central defender, and as a left midfielder. He has only once not played 90 minutes for his club in the league, and that's out of 21 appearances. And in those 21 appearances, he has 1 goal and 1 assist. Now his goal and assist both came when he was playing at the left back position. The goal was a nice one, a rebound from a goalkeeper save, and he played it into the turf and past the goalkeeper. Looked like one of those Ozil shots. Then the assist was really a free kick, and the delivery was just sumptuous. Put it right at the perfect spot. That left foot of his is really special, and I feel like this is a young player that can really go places in the future. And even with the Super Eagles, I don't think he is that far away from getting some consistent game time. Now moving to the midfielders, and first we start with Alex Iwobi of Everton, the first midfielder on the list, and he currently is more on the wings for his club. Was a midfielder, a central midfielder during the season for the most part. Then his coach got sacked. Frank Lampard got sacked. New coach is the former coach of Burnley, Sean Dyche, and he has really sent them back to his former position, which was more of on the wings. He has made 31 appearances in all competitions this season, scoring 1 goal and creating 5 assists. And in the EPL, he has 28 appearances with 1 goal and 7 assists. Now we all know the level of quality that Alex Iwobi brings to the table when you're talking about the Super Eagles, but I feel like what is really left right now and what is really needed from him right now is his leadership. He needs to bring some leadership to the table. He's at the right stage in his career for that, and I feel like that's the next step he needs to take. He needs to be a leader on this team. Next we have Frank Onyeka of Brentford, also in the EPL. Plays as a central midfielder and a defensive midfielder for his club, and he has made 16 appearances in all competitions this season, 14 in the league, and grabbed 1 assist also. Recently made a return after 3 months out being injured. Since his return, he has tasted 61 minutes of action as they ease him into a side that has really been overachieving this season. Now with the Super Eagles, he's been getting a little bit of love lately from Jose Peseiro, the head coach. Started the match against Algeria, the friendly match. Also played in the match against Portugal, came in the second half. And I really didn't see him do that much wrong in any of those matches, unless you want to count that criminal penalty against Algeria. Next we have Wilfred Ndidi of Leicester City. Has played as a defensive midfielder and a center back for his club this season. Speaking of his club, they have not been very good this season in the EPL. Actually, they are fighting relegation as we speak. Honestly, it all started from the beginning of the season. They lost a whole bunch of matches to start the season. They were bottom of the table for a good amount of time, and that was the foundation to what we have right now. Now, Wilfred doesn't go unscathed in this situation because he has definitely not been at his level this season. And to be honest, the performance he had against Portugal in that friendly match was shocking. That first half performance was not anywhere close to the level we know Wilfred Ndidi can be at. Now, that being said, I still feel like the man is a world-class footballer. Every great player has a period of time where they fall off for a minute, but the great ones somehow, some way figure a way out to come out the situation, and that's what I expect from Wilfred Ndidi. I'm not going to drop his rating just because of this season. We've seen other great players have situations. Eden Hazard, when he was at Chelsea, had the off season, then came back the next season and won the league. So I'm not going to just say, oh, Wilfred Ndidi is now trash. That's definitely not coming out of my mouth. I feel like he's a great player. He's going through a down period. Hopefully he gets out of it sooner than later, but I'm definitely not selling this man right now. Next and last but not least of the midfielders, Joel Rebo of Southampton moved to the club before the start of this season. I mean, preseason went well, scored a couple goals in preseason. I had a beautiful goal in preseason, dribbled like 3 or 4 players and slipped the ball past the goalkeeper. Beautiful goal he scored. In the season, he started pretty good with the team. Then things went left real quick. The coach got fired. The next coach got fired, and as of now, he has not been in the squad since the beginning of the year. And we're not talking about being in the starting 11. I'm talking about being in the squad, being able to sit on the bench. He has not been in the squad since the beginning of the year. So things are really going rough for Joel Rebo right now in Southampton. They are fighting relegation, so there is the risk of falling down to the championship next season. I feel like one of the biggest issues was that he could not claim any of the positions he played as his. He has played as a central forward, he has played on the wings, as a central midfielder, as a left midfielder, but he just could not cement a spot in any of those positions. With that said, Joel Rebo still has made 26 appearances this season in all competitions, 19 appearances in the league, scored 2 goals also for his team. Honestly, at the end of the day, this is what comes with international football. None is guaranteed, and as you see right here, almost all our midfielders are inactive for their clubs. And what do you do in that situation? Do you just get new midfielders and hope for the best, or do you continue with the guys that have been tried and tested under your system? So that's the situation Jose Peseiro saw himself in, and he decided to go with the familiar. I have no problems with the players who got selected, but I would have liked to have a couple more midfielders selected just to have some backup at least. But let me know what you guys think about the midfielders invited. Put it in the comment section. And moving on, last but not least, the forward selected to the team. The first name on the list is the captain of the side, Ahmed Musa, and he plays at Sivasspor in the Turkish Super League. Joined the club at the beginning of the season. There was the talk about him retiring after the last World Cup, but the story changed after the team failed to qualify. Now, that being said, he has had kind of a bit part role under Jose Peseiro thus far. Did not take part in the last 2 friendly matches the Super Eagles played, and those were against Algeria and Portugal. Now, with his club side, he has played both as a central forward and a winger. He has made 16 appearances this season in the league. 4 of those were on the starting 11 and 12 were coming off the bench. I believe the criteria for Ahmed Musa's selection was more of experience and the leadership that he's bringing to the team. I mean, he's probably not going to play that much against Guinea Bissau, but I'm guessing the coach feels what he brings off the pitch is good enough to earn him an invite to the squad. Next, we move to Paul Onuachu of Southampton in the EPL. Recently moved from Genk in Belgium's top flight, and honestly things are just not going right. I mean, once he joined the club, he got a little bit of game time, Most of his 6 appearances in the EPL came once he joined the club, 3 starts out of those 6 appearances. Then all of a sudden a new coach came in because his former coach got sacked, the coach who was there when they signed him. So basically the coach who probably asked for Paul Onuachu got sacked, and the new coach comes in with a whole different system, and all of a sudden Paul Onuachu's on the outside looking in. Next we move to Moses Simon of Nantes in the French top flight. Actually has captained the Super Eagles in a couple of matches under Jose Peseiro. At the club level, he continues to be a regular for his team. He has made 35 appearances in all competitions this season, 24 in the league, 8 in the Europa League. And I honestly felt like the Europa League kind of held him back this season. It was all good playing in the competition. They did make it out the group stage, but it seemed like their league form struggled due to that. And even though Moses Simon has 5 goals and 3 assists so far this season, he really has not played at the level that we expect him to be playing at. Next we have Samuel Chukwueze at Villarreal in the Spanish top flight, the Spanish La Liga. So we've already talked about how a coaching change can affect a player negatively, but in this situation we got the opposite effect. In this case, Samuel Chukwueze went from a guy who had not scored a goal in the league for a while this season to a guy who has scored 4 goals and created 5 assists in 25 league appearances. He has played 38 matches in all competitions, scoring 11 goals and creating 11 assists along the way. Next we move to a man who just came into camp yesterday, Victor Osimhen of Napoli in the Serie A, star striker for the team, and in my opinion one of the best players in the world right now. He has made 29 appearances in all competitions this season, and he has been involved in a ridiculous 30 goals, 25 goals scored, and 5 assists. In the Italian top flight, which his club is definitely going to win at the end of the season, he has made 23 league appearances, scoring 21 goals and creating 5 assists, while in his 5 Champions League matches, he has also scored 4 goals. And even though those numbers are great, I still feel they don't do enough justice for what Victor Osimhen really means to whatever team he plays on, the character he brings, the leadership he brings. His coach is already saying he is part of the leader group at Napoli, and even when he plays for the Super Eagles, there's a little bit of no nonsense involved when Victor Osimhen is playing. Moving on, and next we got Kelechi Iheanacho of Leicester City, makes a return to the team after missing the friendly match against Portugal. Has been flickering on and off with the playing time this season, only 7 starts in the league so far. He did have the month with a 5-goal involvement, and that led to him being nominated for the Player of the Month. That was February, I believe. He has made 27 appearances in all competitions this season, scoring 6 goals and creating 5 assists. In the league, he has made 20 appearances with 3 goals and 4 assists. And we can't forget the fact that he is Mr. FA Cup himself, and he has made 3 appearances in that competition, scoring 3 goals in the process. Next up, we got Terran Murphy of Nice in the French top flight, recently joined the club from Lorient in the same league. He's been part of most of the Super Eagles matches under Jose Peseiro, and his last goal was scored against Algeria in that friendly match. With his new club, he has made 8 appearances so far, scoring 4 goals and creating 2 assists along the way. And in the league altogether, he has made 24 appearances, scoring 15 goals and creating 2 assists. I feel Murphy is a player that will definitely play in these matches against Guinea Bissau, but how much he plays is the question. Had a good relationship with Victor Osimhen against Sao Tome, but then again, that was Sao Tome, not like you're talking about Morocco or something. Next and last but not least, Ademola Lookman of Atalanta in the Italian top flight, played at the youth level with England but joined the Super Eagles right before the World Cup qualifiers against the Ghanaian Black Stars. At his club, he was on a great run of form for a good part of the season. Actually was like a goal or 2 away from Osimhen at some point in the season, but lately he seems to have cooled off a little. He has made 28 appearances in all competitions for his club, scoring 4 14 goals and creating 5 assists. In the league, he has made 26 appearances, scoring 12 goals with 5 assists. So yeah, those are the players invited to represent the Super Eagles in the upcoming AFCON qualification doubleheader against Guinea Bissau. Let me know what you guys think about the list. Put it in the comment section. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.